Hello. Hello. Today is February 10th, 2026, 7:45 Central Standard Time or 7:45 p.m. Indochina, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to the live stream. I'm discussing this evening wireless consumer arbitration agreement, and this is this is a topic that I have been very passionate about and helping people learn and comprehend, what exactly they've agreed to with the big cell phone companies and how you can manage, let's say, control your account and services better when you enforce the wireless consumer agreement, because I think we've all had issues at one time or another with either our wireless service or the equipment, or could be your internet cable, and so on. And then we call in to deal with customer service and you get nowhere with them. And repeated calls, it's like you start from the beginning every call. I know this is a very common issue with people, right? They don't get anything accomplished on the first call. They call back. They've got to start all over again and explain themselves. It's like they never took any notes or consideration for the complaint the customer had, and it just goes on and on. So some years back, I remember I had a collections from an AT&T account on my credit report, and I didn't understand why it was on there, because I remember canceling the account and and ensuring that, I paid all the fees. There was nothing left to pay, but still, several months later, I got a bill. No, I didn't get a bill. I got hit with the collections for like 1 month's service. So it was like a hundred and something, $120, which I did not owe, but it was on my credit report. It was a third party collecting on behalf of AT&T, and I didn't know anything about the collections, uh, the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act. I didn't know really any. I didn't know anything about the contract because I never read the contract. So there was a lot to learn between then and now, which I have, and have successfully helped many people, just share the knowledge with them on how to regain control over the situation, and and in many cases get some kind of financial compensation, some type of remedy for the harm it causes when you get hit with a collections, or you get your time eaten up and energy from dealing with customer service, and they don't really take care of their business, take care of their customers. So we're going to dive into the wireless consumer agreement. Okay, I've read all the big wireless wireless service agreements. They're pretty much all the same. It takes about 1 hour to read the contract. So you can challenge yourself to read the contract, which I would recommend doing. And the most important part, I would say, is the dispute resolution section of the agreement. Okay, that's where you escalate the situation and take it out of the customer service department and into the legal department, and actually get someone with authority to make the situation right. So whatever it is, whatever you've dealt with, you could an account could be closed. It could be old. The agreement is ongoing Doesn't matter if the account's open or closed. Doesn't matter how long it's been. Could be 5 years, could be 10 years. Seriously. Um, could be an active account that you have right now. Okay, so let's jump into okay, so I'm just gonna Google okay, I'm gonna Google wireless customer agreement. You can put in, okay, just Google the company name and wireless customer agreement, and it's gonna be right there on the first page. Yeah, okay, this is it. All right, so welcome to AT&T General Terms. Your AT&T Consumer Service Agreement includes the terms and conditions for our products and services. By activating, using, or paying for any of these products or services, you're accepting and agree to be bound by this agreement. If you don't agree, contact us immediately to cancel your order and or services and return any products. Please read this agreement carefully. It requires us to resolve disputes through arbitration on an individual basis rather than jury trials or class actions. It also governs how we handle your information, including information related to your AT&T account and your location. All right, now you'll see in section 1.1 called our agreement. See that? It's about 5 or 6 lines down. Okay, if you have other products and services with this company, you'll see there the hyperlinks in blue. Okay, general terms, wireless service, phone and internet service. Okay, you'll see it says including something fiber, internet, fixed wireless, wireless home internet. Okay, so this this so if you have one of those products or services, you click on that hyperlink. Okay. But again, these are the standardized contracts. So generally they're all the same. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the arbitration section. Okay. This is what really matters. But again, read all the sections. Okay. 1.3 dispute resolution by binding arbitration. Please read this carefully. It affects your rights. 1.3 Our customer service department can resolve most customer concerns quickly and to the customer satisfaction. Please visit at&t.com/contact us/index.html to contact the customer service team for your AT&T service. In the unlikely event that you are not satisfied with customer service's solution, or if we haven't been able to resolve a dispute between us after attempting to do so informally, we each agree to resolve those disputes through binding arbitration or small claims court instead of in courts of general jurisdiction. Let me pause for a second. As I'm reading this, read it along with me, okay? I just have to stress how important it is to read our contracts. Okay, this is the key to taking back control, taking back freedom, getting a remedy, getting results, okay, reading. Okay, and if we don't understand, we ought to have, Google right there to look up the definition of words, etc. Okay, that's just a little coaching for you. Now, continuing on, arbitration is more informal than a lawsuit in court. Arbitration uses a neutral arbitrator instead of a judge or jury, allows for more limited discovery than in court, and is subject to very limited review by courts. Any arbitration under this agreement will take place on an individual basis. Class arbitrations and class actions are not permitted. For any non-frivolous claim that does not exceed $75,000, AT&T will be responsible for all costs of the arbitration. Moreover, in arbitration, you are entitled to recover attorney's fees from AT&T to at least the same extent as you would be in court. In addition, under certain circumstances, as explained below, AT&T will pay you more than the amount of the arbitrator's award and will pay your attorney, if any, twice his or her reasonable attorney's fees if the arbitrator awards you an amount that is greater than the value of what AT&T offered you to settle the dispute. So oftentimes, okay, I'm pausing for a second. Oftentimes in these situations, attorney's not going to take cases, okay, for, our seemingly small issues, okay? It's really better, I believe it's better to represent oneself, okay? Because no one's going to look out for you like you are. And deferring your authority, over to an attorney, I mean, in these cases, it's got to be worth it to them, okay? So, and yeah, maybe your situation is, but I highly encourage one to be their own attorney and go through this process for themselves. Okay. And it's interesting how they word these contracts, and one very big plus is that they're going to pay for all the fees. Okay, that's very clear. They said that they will be responsible for all costs for any claims under 75 grand. All right. And if you don't already know, the filing fee is $200 for the consumer, and then the business filing fee is $375. And there's a case manager that's assigned. Okay, that's a couple $1,000. The arbitrator's fees, that's several $1,000s. If you do it in person, if you travel, if the arbitrator's got to travel, so the fees add up, and that's leverage. Okay, that's leverage. So continuing on, arbitration is more in. Oh, excuse me. Section 132 arbitration agreement. Claims subject to arbitration. AT&T and you agree to arbitrate all disputes and claims between us, except for claims arising from bodily injury or death. The arbitration provision is intended to be broadly interpreted. It includes, but is not limited to, claims arising out of or relating to any aspect of the relationship between us, whether based in contract, tort, fraud, misrepresentation, or any other statutory or common law legal theory. Claims that arose before the existence of this or any prior agreement, including but not limited to claims relating to our advertising, claims for mental or emotional distress or injury not arising out of bodily injury, claims that are currently the subject of purported class action litigation in which you are not a member of a certified class, and claims that may arise after the termination of this agreement. So that's all of those situations or scenarios are relevant. Okay. References to AT&T, you and us include our respective predecessors in interest, successors, and assigns, as well as our respective past, present, and future subsidiaries affiliates, related entities, agents, employees, and all authorized or unauthorized users or beneficiaries of AT&T services or products under past, present, or future agreements between us. Notwithstanding the foregoing, either party may bring an action in small claims court seeking only individualized relief, so long as the action remains in that court and is not removed or appealed to a court of general jurisdiction. This arbitration provision does not preclude you from bringing issues to the attention of federal, state, or local agencies, including, for example, the Federal Communications Commission. Such agencies can, if the law allows, seek relief against us on your behalf. You agree that by entering into this agreement, you and AT&T are each waiving the right to a trial by jury or to participate in a class action. This agreement evidences a transaction in interstate commerce, and thus the Federal Arbitration Act governs the interpretation and enforcement of this provision. Um, just a sec. This arbitration provision shall survive termination of this agreement. Okay, that's what I was saying earlier. There's no time bar on how long you can bring a claim. Okay, so it goes on to explain, okay, there's a pre-arbitration notice of dispute. This is very important because this is the next step. The first step, it said, was you agree to resolve the dispute through customer service. Now, this is the next step, section 1322, pre-arbitration notice of dispute. Okay, a party who intends to seek arbitration must first send to the other party a written notice of dispute. You may download the notice form at att.com/arbitration-forms. The notice to AT&T may be sent by U.S. mail or professional courier service to manager dispute resolutions and arbitration. AT&T 1025 Lenox Park Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia 30319. The notice address. Or alternatively, submitted electronically by following the instructions at att.com/notice of dispute. Notice must include all of the information requested on the notice form, including A, your name, B, your account number, C, the services, if any, to which your claim pertains, D, a description of the nature and basis of the claim or dispute, E, an explanation of the specific relief sought and the basis for the calculations, F, your signature, and G, if you retained an attorney, your signed statement authorizing AT&T to disclose your confidential account records to your attorney if necessary in resolving your claim. If AT&T and you do not reach an agreement to resolve the claim within 60 days after the notice is received, you or AT&T may commence an arbitration proceeding. If either you or we send the other an incomplete notice, the 60-day period begins only after a complete notice is received. You may download a form to initiate arbitration at att.com/arbitration-forms. In addition, information on how to commence an arbitration proceeding, including how to file a consumer arbitration online, is currently available at adr.org/support. A copy of the arbitration demand must be sent to the notice address listed above. So that is pretty self-explanatory. You follow that step that for the notice of dispute before you file an arbitration, you must do that. If I have seen when you don't when someone doesn't follow these instructions, then it comes up, they raise the issue later and say, well, you didn't follow the agreement, and so therefore we're going to delay the process now and extend this out even for take up more of your time. And that's part of the deal is, any opportunity to wear you down, they will certainly, I mean, now it, it is a valid point. I mean, you got to follow the instructions, follow the outlined instructions of the agreement, but they'll, it's, I've seen people get worn down, okay, by the the other party that they're taking to arbitration for little things like this. So, you know, okay, I'm going to stop there. That's section 1322. Okay, I'm going to come back and continue the next couple of sections of the arbitration agreement. But for now, this is a good start on where to begin the process from taking it out of customer service into the pre-arbitration stage. Okay, and getting you closer to some type of remedy. And then I'm going to do another several videos on some of the other carriers as well, going through the dispute resolution process for other carriers, not just this one. Okay, but I've had AT&T a couple of times, and I can say that I've had no problem settling my uh, disputes in a pre-arbitration stage. Nobody wants to go through arbitration. They don't, and I don't believe. I mean, I never have personally. I just want to get some type of relief. So, okay. Thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't already, follow my channel for more information. I have also, if you want more information, more in-depth strategies, and uh, just things that I go into more in depth, because there's like there's more details in terms of negotiating and what goes into the claim and specifics that I have in a pre-recorded course. And you can go to my Stand store. I have the link in the bio. You can go to the Stand store. I made it super cheap. It's very affordable, and it's helped a lot of people. So check it out, but follow for more updates. All right, appreciate you joining and watching this, and hope you have a great day. See you in the next video.